Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be discussing if the Clinton Handicap, as it's called, worked in the 2020 election when guessing, hey, how are these states going to vote, essentially. So here are the states that went from 15% or less in the 2016 election. Their polling as shown here. The results of the election shown here, and of course the error of polling, most of which went to Donald Trump. Of course, states like Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Rhode Island, Texas, Virginia, and Washington. Those states actually gave the Democrat, or gives Joe Biden an advantage when applying it. So we have the 2020 polling, all except Rhode Island, because RCP had no data for good old Rhode Island, so sorry. And then we add the polling error from 2016, and these are the results. Well, actually, then these are the results we get. Alaska, Trump would have made gains in the state of Alaska. Joe Biden would have flipped Arizona. Joe Biden would have won Colorado safe, would have improved in Connecticut, breaking it out of our 15% threshold of a battleground. Delaware would have improved in Delaware, of course, but, well, from 2016, not from the polling. That should have been made more clear. But it still would have been considered a battleground based off our depictions here. He would have barely flipped the state of Florida. It would have been very, very close, 0.1%. Donald Trump would have won the state of Georgia by the skin of his teeth. He would have won Iowa by a big margin. Joe Biden would have won Maine by a big margin. Joe Biden would have narrowly carried Michigan. Donald Trump would have narrowly flipped Minnesota. So we have our first big, moment. Nevada, Joe Biden would have carried it by a likely margin. Carried New Hampshire by 9 points, close to safe. New Jersey would have carried it outside the 15% threshold. Would have been big for his campaign, in my opinion. Would have carried New Mexico. New Mexico would have voted to the left of Colorado, believe it or not. North Carolina, Donald Trump would have won it by around the same margin as he did in 2016. He would have carried Ohio, though Joe Biden would have improved in the state. Joe Biden would have improved in Oregon. Donald Trump actually would have improved in Pennsylvania based off of this metric. Joe Biden also would have improved a lot in South Carolina, having it close to being a likely state, but it stays safe. Texas would have been razor thin as well, that is a Joe Biden victory right there. That's a Joe Biden victory. Okay. Yeah. Joe Biden would have flipped the state of Texas. I'm just now realizing that. I thought it was minus 1.4. No, and minuses is for Republicans, pluses is for Democrats, by the way. So Joe Biden would have flipped the state of Texas, another big woohoo. Joe Biden would have carried Virginia by 12, carried with Washington by 14, and Donald Trump would have maintained Wisconsin, though Joe Biden would have done better in the state than Hillary. And of course, we have our 2020 results here. Of course, I just kept Rhode Island is not available. And the final error, we had a 6.7% error in Alaska, which that is not accurate at all. Alaska is always hard to gauge. Its support's always hard, so I guess that's fair. Arizona had a 1.1%. The Clinton Handicap gave Donald Trump a 1.1% disadvantage in the state of Arizona, but I'm going to say that's pretty accurate given everything. And I'm going to change Texas. Oh wait, never mind. I already said it. Never mind. There was a 2% disadvantage for Joe Biden in Colorado. I'm going to keep that as accurate. I'm going to say everything 2.9 and below is accurate. a less than 1% disadvantage for Donald Trump in Connecticut. Again, pretty accurate. I think, what's the most accurate? The most accurate state we got in was Iowa, believe it or not. Don't know how we did that, but probably because Iowa polling is disastrous. As you can see here, I have some maybes. As you can see, there was a 3.6% error in the state of Delaware, a 3.4% error in Florida, a 3.3% error in Nevada, and that is all. So these three states, I'm going to let you decide whether they were accurate or not. Of course, we have some atrocious errors. Alaska, 6%. God, it'll just, a 7.5% error in Minnesota. It had Donald Trump winning the state. That's nice. Let's see. A 5% polling error in both New Jersey and New Mexico. Again, atrocious. Atrocious. I need to speak. 6% error in Texas. Wow. Just wow. And a 4% error in the state of Washington, which is not as bad as the others, but still pretty bad. Again, that is the only one that I've labeled as no. That's in the typical margin of error of 5%. So, there you go. And my civics teacher in my senior year of high school said the error could go, he believed if he were doing something like this, he would have it to where the error could go both ways. So let's take Arizona because it's quite small. The polling has it as 0.9, and with Joe Biden, that's 1.4. And if we were to take it to the other way, then that 0.9 would be 0.4, which would be, a lot less damaging to the final error. And if we were to take all this, the Clinton handicap got a 66%, which is a failing grade, so it didn't work. Then if you were to look at a map, which I don't have a map, you're just going to believe me, it got 5 states wrong. It got Minnesota wrong, Wisconsin wrong, Pennsylvania wrong, Georgia wrong, actually got 6 states, Florida wrong, and Texas wrong. So 6 states wrong, which is less than how many states I got wrong, which, that's not a feat, but anyway. Just don't ask how many states I got wrong, please. No, don't. Just don't. But I still think this is a pretty good way of saying, hey, where our state's going. Definitely not an end-all, be-all. Definitely not when it comes to polling. Don't 100% rely on this, because if you do, you'll get a blue Texas and a red Minnesota at the same time, so don't. Okay, so polling with error, you could say, okay, Alaska, safe. Arizona is going to Joe Biden, but probably not by a lean margin. Let's say tilt D. Colorado, yeah, that most people are assuming it's going to go safe, so it's going to go safe. Connecticut, we were assuming safety. Delaware, safety. Florida, Donald Trump's actually going to win it. And if you were also to take a look at early voting, Trump was ahead, I think. So let's say tilt R. I probably would have had a tilt R. Oh god, I broke it. Don't worry about what I broke. Georgia, Donald Trump was at lean R, so let's put it there. Iowa, likely R. Maine, I think I had it tilt D. Ignore that I said that. Oh my god, I broke. Oh boy, I need to get. Oh, I don't think I can get another one. Yeah. Lane D, I guess. Oh god. I am so sorry. I forgot I was recording there for a half second. Michigan had a tilt D. I probably would have put a tilt D seeing this. Minnesota, tilt R. Probably would have put it a tilt D, if not lane D. You can just go by this and say, you just make a guess. Take the margin of error of, and do this and apply 5% down or 5% up. Either way. If you do that, 5% down Alaska, you get it roughly where it was, which is around, 10 points. So, what do you think? Do you think the Clinton handicap worked in 2020 based off of the 66% rating? Do you think it worked? And the 6 states I got wrong? Let me know in the comments. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.